Welcome to Easy English by Edison, and today we are going to explore one of the poems, class 10, first flight. The name of the poem is The Trees, written by Andrew Rich. Andrienne Rich. Now you may ask the question, yes, Mercy, sir, what is this poem about?
Sir, what is this poem about?
Well, the present poem, The Trees, is a conflict between man and nature. Ask sir how?
How?
Man has always been exploiting nature for his own benefit. Am I right? He has been destroying trees and forests and has always been making interior decoration with the trees cut down out of the forest. Am I right?
Yes, sir.
So man has been using nature for his own benefit. Am I right? Without making any consideration of the balance in nature. Am I right? So even nature rebels. Even nature rebels against civilization. You know, the conflict between man and nature, man has caused a lot of harm to the nature by misusing natural resources. Am I right? By cutting down forests, by killing animals, by destroying the greenery. And as a result, man has acquired a lot of wealth. On the contrary, he has done a lot of harm to the nature. Am I right?
Yes, sir.
This has really been rebelled by nature. Nature has been a rebellion against the civilization. The development, the technological development, the advancement, Maharishi,
Yes,
the
sir.
advancement that man has acquired due to technology has resulted into massive destruction to nature. Am I right? And as a result, man has to pay back the loss
Yes.
that is caused to the nature. Am I right?
Nature.
Therefore, we can say that the nature has become a rebellion. Nature has become a
Rebellion.
what has been the reason of nature becoming a rebellion. We have forgotten, in the pursuit of civilization, we have forgotten that we have to keep the nature in balance. Am I right? And the result is that we are now at a loss to do. The natural calamities often take place. Am I right?
Yeah.
However technologically advanced man become, he cannot prevent natural calamities from taking place. Am I right? This clearly suggests that nature is more powerful than man. Am I right? But the misconception is that man has always mistaken nature as a weak. Am I right? The fact is that nature is always very powerful. Always very
Powerful.
nature is the most powerful. No matter how much technological advanced man becomes, he cannot prevent natural calamities from taking place. So in this poem, the poet has tried his best to, show or exhibit the conflict between man and nature. Conflict between,
Man and nature.
you know the meaning of conflict?
Yes, sir.
A kind of contradiction. Contradiction. Two things opposite to each other. Man has been hungry of civilization, man has been hungry of development, but nature has always been trying to rebel against civilization, because man has never taken into consideration the ecological balance of nature. Am I right? Therefore, trees have been moving outside because they want to set themselves free. Ask why, sir?
Why, sir?
Because they have been made captive in our houses. We all have made the trees captive, prisoners, by using them for our interior decoration. So the trees have been struggling hard to set themselves free and to go to the forest. Am I right? Because that is their natural place. What is their natural place? That forest. The large forests are their natural place. So what have the trees been doing all the night? They have been struggling hard to free themselves from the captivity of man. Man has always kept the trees inside their house as interior decoration. So the trees are now struggling hard to free themselves and go to the forest. Am I right? Now, these efforts that is being made by the trees are simply to reach the natural habitat. The trees, in this poem, there is a vast stretch of the branches of the trees. The trees are breaking the barriers that man has created. The barriers of wall, say like that, roof. We have created the barriers of wall and roof. Am I right?
Yes.
But the trees are struggling to break those barriers. The whole night the trees are struggling. The branches of the trees are struggling the whole night, and they are making a lot of effort to break the glasses, and then free themselves. So we can say that any object of nature, say like that, any object of nature
Any object of nature
needs freedom.
needs
Like
freedom.
any other part of nature,
Like any other part of
freedom
nature,
is much more important
freedom is much more
than any
important
kind of comfort
than any kind of comfort
and growth.
And
That's the reason why
that's the reason why
the trees and forests
the trees and
are
forests
struggling hard
are struggling
to
hard
free themselves
to free them
and get the natural habitat. Get the So we can say that this present poem is a conflict,
conflict
between man and nature. Between man and the poetess has exhibited the conflict between man and nature, and has tried to give a message to man that we should never forget that nature is most powerful, and it can be a rebellion also. It can be a And when the nature becomes rebellion, we cannot sustain the nature's disaster. Am I right? That is the reason why lot of natural calamities take place often. Am I right?
Yes, sir.
And man becomes helpless before natural calamities. Our judgment about nature is always wrong. We have always judged nature as weak. Am I right? But the reality is that, nature is more powerful than human being. And that's what the poetess has tried to exhibit, that we should never forget that nature also need freedom. Am I right? They are always in conflict with our civilization. We are forgetting that civilization is good, but it will not be at the cost of destroying the nature,
nature.
So the message in this poem is that we should never try to create havoc to the nature, rather we should preserve the nature,
Nature.
So this present poem, The Trees, is a beautiful conflict between man and nature,
Nature.
and the message is that we should never forget the importance of our existence, that our existence entirely depends upon the nature, and we have no right to create any disturbance to the natural balance. Am I right? And we should always keep in mind that nature also needs freedom like human being. And this freedom will only make us sustain the life.
life.
Thank you very much. Thanks a lot.